Alright, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you're all having a great day today. Now, what I have for y'all in this video is the ultimate guide on how to play PSYLOCKE. And there've been multiple people in my streams and comments asking how they can get better at playing PSYLOCKE. What they're usually asking me is how to improve their aim, how to dive with her, and when to dive with her. And they also be asking how to approach different fights, anything like that. So what I'm gonna do in this video, I'm gonna try to give y'all as many tips as possible. Now, the first thing I'm gonna go over is my settings, and I do have a settings video from a few months ago, but I'm gonna still show all of my settings just in case. Then I'm gonna go over her counters, and then I'm gonna go over ways how you can improve your aim. And then after I do all of that, I'm gonna hop in replay mode and I'm gonna review one of my gameplays just so y'all can see exactly how I play and exactly how I approach different fights and when is the right time to dive and everything like that. And as someone who has over 500 hours with this character, I feel like I can give a lot of advice and insight and all of that type of stuff. So if you're a new PSYLOCKE player or an occasional PSYLOCKE player who is trying to get better at playing her, this might just be the video for you. And if you do end up learning a lot of different things, then be sure to drop a sub and a like on the video. We're currently closing in on 800 subs at the time of this video, and my goal right now is to reach 1,000 subs before 2026. So if y'all want to do me a favor, help a brother out, it will be greatly appreciated. And yeah, hold on, let me move this Halloween banner out the way. I know it's probably in the way, so let me get rid of that real quick. So ladies and gentlemen, the first thing you're gonna start off with, like I said, is my settings. As you can see, I have a 340 horizontal sensitivity and a 380 vertical sensitivity. As you can see, I'm also playing on classic curve type. I think most of my dead zone settings are the same. I don't really think I changed anything, but you want to see my aim assist window size and strength, easing, and all of that stuff. You can just take a quick look, take a screenshot, screen record, do whatever you need to do. Also, if you want to see my crosshair, you can see I got the dot, which I think is the best crosshair to use for PSYLOCKE. It's been helping me for the past couple of months. So yeah, I'm gonna just do a quick little scroll. Y'all can take screenshot, screen record, do whatever you need to do. So yeah, these are my settings. All of my recent videos, all of my recent TikToks that I've uploaded have been using these exact settings right here. Nothing different, nothing has changed. And hopefully if you do end up using these settings, it can help you become a better player. If not, then I don't even know, honestly. Alright, now that we got the settings out the way, it's time to go over PSYLOCKE's counters. Now, PSYLOCKE doesn't have too many counters, but the people who do counter her, they counter her badly, and it will affect your playstyle and how you can engage and all that type of stuff. Now, the first counter is pretty obvious. He's been a counter since the game dropped, and that is Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier. This man is probably one of your worst nightmares. As a PSYLOCKE player, I never take a 1v1 against him because it almost always ends badly. A good Bucky player will literally completely shut you down, and that's why he is one of my main ban picks, especially since he got buffed in what, did they buff him in season 4 or something? I know they buffed him in one of the recent updates. If you're a PSYLOCKE player, I do recommend you banning him because he will literally make the match completely unfun. And I do believe he already has a high ban rate and competitive anyway, so you may not even have to deal with him as much. Now, the next counter for PSYLOCKE is actually a new counter, and I absolutely hate playing against him, and that is Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil. This man might be worse than Bucky, and that is specifically because he can see you through walls and he can see you while you're invisible. And on top of that, the second he gets close to you, it's pretty much wraps. His character is broken on top of him being a direct counter for you, and that is why Daredevil is one of my main ban picks. Bucky and Daredevil are the two people you should be banned against PSYLOCKE. Nobody else is as annoying as these two characters right here. Now, Mr. Fantastic is kind of a counter, but he's not really too bad to deal with. He's pretty much an anti-dive character in general, so he does counter you in a way, but he isn't as nearly as annoying to deal with. But he may cause a problem in your match, especially if he knows you're trying to dive against his healers, and he knows that it's his job to peel for his healers especially. Now, I feel like Namor is in that same ballpark too. You can still cook with PSYLOCKE while he's in the match. Now, as for the supports, there are 3 supports who you want to look out for. Now 2 of these don't directly counter you, but one of them counters you kind of well, and that is Loki, No, I'm not even gonna lie, I haven't really been seeing too many Lokis recently since the season 4.5 update. I actually think they ended up nerfing him, and that's crazy because he used to be one of my main ban picks because of how badly he countered PSYLOCKE. But if you do end up seeing a Loki on the enemy team and you're using PSYLOCKE, just be sure to destroy his clones, bait out his immortality fields, because if you don't bait out his immortality fields, he's gonna make your ult pretty much useless. And it has happened to me a couple times, and it is very infuriating when it does happen, so be on the lookout for that. Now I will say Loki really isn't a ban pick anymore. For me, he was before season 4 dropped, but ever since they nerfed him, he really isn't that big of a problem. Now next up, we got Jeff. Now he really isn't a counter to you at all. It's just the fact that he's kind of hard to dive against, and that's because he can pretty much go underwater or underground or whatever you call it. So the best way to kill Jeff is to kill him with the one-shot combo, because if you miss that one-shot combo and he has a chance to go underground, it's pretty much GG's. You might as well like fall back for a minute until it's time to dive again, because he is pretty much impossible to kill when he's underground. Now the last person who could possibly counter you is Invisible Woman, and she is kind of an anti-dive character because she does have a couple of tools to help her survivability against dive characters. You know, she has that push ability. On top of that, she can just go completely invisible. Bro, I'm about to get removed from the game. Hold on, bro. Anyways, but yeah, Invisible Woman, the second she goes invisible, you pretty much have to do exactly what you do with Jeff and just like fall back for a minute. But the thing about her is that the second she takes damage while being invisible, she becomes visible again. And I do have a smaller tip to make it easier to kill her at PSYLOCKE, and that is to throw your shurikens at her, bait out her invisibility, and then call the shurikens back. Now I'm sure I have a clip planned on screen of me doing this so y'all can see like an example. It does work most of the time, not all the time, especially if it's like an invisible woman who knows what she's doing. But this is the best tip I have against her. Like I said, throw out your shurikens, try your best to damage her as much as possible, bait out that invisibility. Second she goes invisible, call your shurikens back, and once she's back visible, it should be the freest kill in the world. Honestly, it should just be a GG's at that point. And that's all for all the PSYLOCKE counters. Like I said, be sure to ban Bucky and Daredevil. That's exactly why these two are in my strike squad, so they can be easy for me to ban. I don't have to do a lot of scrolling. It's just right there in my face, ready to be banned. And yeah, let's move on to ways on how to improve your aim. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you've watched any of my streams on Twitch, YouTube, or anything, TikTok, all of my streams start off with me being in the practice range. Now some of y'all may know this already, but what I usually do is I select Luna Snow as my hero, because I think she has like the smallest hitbox in the game, on top of her having like fast move speed. Now you can copy these exact settings right here if you want. Static / dynamic, turn it on. Movement action, put it on random. Movement speed, super fast. Health restore on quantity 3, you know, all this type of stuff. This is what I do at the start of every stream. I sit in practice range for about 10 to 15 minutes until I feel like I'm warmed up enough, or until I realize that I'm starting to hit a lot of my shots. And as you may know, since PSYLOCKE is a character that requires like pretty decent to great aim, it's always good to like warm up before you start playing. And honestly, you can sit in the practice range until you feel comfortable with your aim. Like there's no time limit or anything like that, so you know, you can sit in here for up to an hour if you want to. Also, if you're using my settings, it may take a while to get used to because the sensitivity is kind of high, so you may want to just sit in the practice range for as long as possible. This is to me like the best way to improve your aim. Like I said, if you look at any of my previous streams on YouTube, I guarantee pretty much every single one will start off with me being in the practice range. And you're probably wondering why I'm choosing Luna Snow, and like I said, it's because I think she has like the skinniest hitbox in the game. So if you can hit your shots against Luna Snow, you can hit your shots pretty much against anybody in the game. And here you can practice target priority, how to track enemies, and you know, anything of that nature. So yeah, like I said, just sit in the practice range every day before a match and just see how your aim improves, and you know, just stay in here until you're comfortable. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about that time for me to hop in replay mode and analyze one of my gameplays. I already have a gameplay set and ready. And yeah, if any of these tips help you out or anything like that, be sure to leave a like on the video, drop a sub, or you know, it would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, let's move on.
Double kill! How sad.
So ladies and gentlemen, the match we finna replay today is a match where I ended up going 50 and 10, 29 final hits, 43k damage. Now as you can see, this match was 26 minutes long. This match went into like double overtime, I'm pretty sure. I think the final score was like 5-4 if I'm not mistaken. Now this was a crazy match. As you can see on the enemy team, 3 people on their team had over 60 kills. That's honestly crazy, bro. That is actually insane. But like I said at the start of the video, in this replay, I'm gonna just pretty much go over everything you need to know. That includes target priority, when to dive against characters, holding off angles, having good positioning, and I think I even make a couple of mistakes in this gameplay, so I'm gonna point out those mistakes so that y'all don't make those same mistakes. And yeah, let's hop into it. Now ladies and gentlemen, as you can see at the start of the match, the first thing I do is take a flank route, and that pretty much is to see if I can catch like any of the healers lacking. But as you can see, all the enemies are pretty much in like this same little spot. They all like cooped up right here, so like from where I'm standing, it's pretty hard to get the healers. So at the moment, I'm gonna just try to build up ult charge and, you know, just like apply pressure, apply like any type of damage, see if I can catch anybody out of position. As y'all can see right here, this Phoenix is currently out of position, and that's one thing PSYLOCKE is good at. She's good at picking up targets who are pretty much like out of position, because she does hold her own against a lot of characters in 1v1s. So as you can see, I do try to end up going for the Phoenix, but I don't think I get the kill. Yeah, I don't end up getting it, but it's still good to have like that kind of target priority. As you can see, I still try to like focus her a bit. Now I don't end up getting the kill, but she definitely could have died right there had I hit more shots. So, and we do end up losing this fight, unfortunately. Now Moon Knight did end up killing half the team, but he is currently out of position, so you know, that's kind of like a free pick. Now Luna Snow did end up using her ult, so they have no support ults, which means I pretty much have a free ult right up here. I ended up killing one person, but I did end up finishing off the Emma. So they're down 2 people, so this should be a free push on our end. As you can see, we all walking them down at the moment. Now, ladies and gentlemen, jumping forward a bit, it's about to be overtime, and I want y'all to just take a look at how this scenario plays out. I want y'all to take a look at my position and my target priority, you know, everything like that. So I'm gonna just let this last section play out. Now ladies and gentlemen, as y'all can see, I was pretty much holding this left side for the entirety of this overtime segment. As you can see, I was pretty much rotating between standing on this little box right here and standing on this ledge. I tried my best not to overextend or, you know, not stay too far back. I thought like this was just like the perfect type of positioning. As you can see, the Bucky got picked off. This Bucky got picked off simply because he was out of position for a little slight moment. As you can see, his healers are focused. As you can see, his healers are pretty much focused on trying to heal the group. And that pretty much cost Bucky his entire life. He probably should have stayed with the team, and yeah, it really didn't end well for him. So ladies and gentlemen, jumping forward a bit even more, I have a Venom diving with me now, and that's always good, because at first I think I pretty much had to dive alone. So with somebody as big as a distraction as Venom, it'll make diving much easier. As you can see, they changed their team comp up a bit too. Now ladies and gentlemen, y'all can see I was pretty much standing on the left side pretty much for this entire fight. You know, as you can see, I just ended up getting the Bucky, pushing further a bit. I ended up trying to get the rocket, but didn't really succeed, and it almost cost me my life. So thankfully it didn't, because we would have been staggered a bit. But as y'all saw, I did end up comboing with Strange and his ult. And honestly, I low-key could have saved my ult right there, because you do gotta keep count of like which ults y'all are using. As y'all can see, we use cloak ult, we use my ult, rockets, strangers. Like, we used a whole lot to win that fight. Was it worth it? I mean, I don't know. You know, we could have saved something. I definitely could have saved mine, but you know, I guess I was just being a little too greedy. But you know, now going forward just a tad bit, as y'all can see, like I said earlier, I have a Venom to dive with me, and that's how I was able to get the rocket, because you know, when I have a Venom on my side diving, it kind of makes diving a bit easier. And I do end up almost dying here, and this right here is an example of PSYLOCKE survivability. She does have amazing survivability, especially since her cooldown times decrease the more she does damage, and that's exactly how I was able to get out of that scenario. Otherwise, I low-key probably would have been dead. And that's another small tip right there, is like, don't dive unless you know you have a way to escape. Like, if you're down like both of your dashes, or like your invisibility is gone, don't even dive at that point, because then if the dive fails, you'll have no way to escape, and you end up dying, and you end up staggering your team, and that just wouldn't be good. Now, as y'all can see, I started to dive the rocket. I made sure I got him super low, so just in case I didn't kill him, I can easily kill him with my ult. Now, I actually didn't even mean to kill the storm, but this is actually a pretty good ult. I got 2 picks, and I ended up forcing out the Luna ult, so they pretty much already lost this fight. Well, they should have lost this fight, but that Groot ult was kind of huge, so it's kind of like 50-50 at the moment. I'm not sure if we win or lose this fight. I think we win it, because now they down both healers. As y'all can see, I'm trying to escape, but I'm pretty sure I die right here. I got 3 health. Yeah, Emma just came and finished the job, I see. But as you can see, we back. Teammate dropped the portal, and I think we end up losing this fight too. I'm not sure, but yeah, they got it. Now, I don't know if y'all noticed, or if I even showed it in the video, but every time our Bucky ulted, he got countered by this Groot and Rocket combo. Every time our Bucky used his ult, as you can see, Groot used his ult and Rocky used his ult, and that was pretty much GG's for our Bucky. I don't think our Bucky was able to get 1 ult off, and that was kind of a huge problem in this entire match. I think he ended up having like 20 deaths or something like that. It definitely was a lot. Now, I ain't gonna lie, if that Luna would have somehow lived and I died, I would have been so mad, bro. But as y'all can see, they about to open a portal, and they do end up capping the point, because as y'all saw the scoreboard, we did end up winning this match. So the portal is successful. And my aim right here, bro, you see, even my aim be off sometimes. Like, and as you can see, I dodged the 1v1, I ducked. I didn't want to smoke, because Buck is pretty much like one of the best 1v1 characters in the game, so. And yeah, I do end up dying here. This is pretty much where they capped the points, so I'm a jump forward a bit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with both teams at 3-3 with a minute each, pretty much everybody's playing their lives at this point. Everybody's just trying their hardest not to die, so we're just gonna see how this play out. As y'all can see, their Bucky ended up dying, but I'm pretty sure he comes back. Yeah, as y'all can see, the revive beacon. He comes back, he hooks me, and I get one-shotted. And that's just not fun to play against at all. Now, I did end up dying right here, but I did end up killing a couple people. As y'all can see, their bucket was just way out of position. Like, he shouldn't have even been that far at all. Ended up killing Groot, ended up taking Rocket with me, but as y'all seen, I ended up getting frozen, and yeah, Bucky got his revenge. So, well, actually, no, Luna killed me. I just peeped the kill feed. Now, as y'all saw, Algru ended up forcing the Luna Snow ult. So at this point, they didn't have a single support ult. I pretty much had a free ult up here. I was guaranteed to get like at least 1 or 2 kills. So, like saying, I ended up killing the Star-Lord in exchange. But I didn't break the revive beacon, so Star-Lord came right back. But as y'all saw, I ended up killing him once again. So I think we end up capping the point right here, but I don't think you make it to the second point. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as y'all can see, there were a lot of ults going off at the moment, and my main priority right now, everybody is fighting and all that. I thought now was the perfect time for me to dive, and that's something y'all should like look out for. Like when the fight is intense, there's a lot going on, and you know. Now, one thing to remember is that we are very, very deep into this match. Like we're about to enter the second overtime, so the enemies at this point, they pretty much expecting me to dive. They're probably communicating with the team, like they already got in the back of their head, like they have a PSYLOCKE, they're probably gonna dive at any second, so be on the lookout. So right here, I was about to dive, but I think I dived a little too early because they still had a little bit of extra shit from the amplifier, so couldn't really dive right there. And as y'all can see, I had already built up my ult, but thankfully I didn't use it because it would have pretty much been useless since Luna had hers already. So, and I ended up getting at least 2 of them, so that's good for us, even though some of our team is dead. Now, I did end up dying, but thankfully my team held it down long enough for me to come back. And actually, I think we end up capping this second point as well, now that I think about it, but I'm not sure. We'll see. Also, I'm not sure why the frames dropped. I think it's because I was doing a lot of rewinding or something like that. You know, I really don't even be in replay mode like that, but you know, I just thought this was like the perfect way for me to like make a guide. So y'all can see, I just ended up taking the Phoenix out. And well, yeah, we actually did end up making it to the third point, but I'm pretty sure we all die right here soon. As you can see, I'm still kind of low-key popping off. Still low-key popping off. See, Bucky got his ult shut down. I think this is where we start to aura walk. Yeah, look at the Venom aura walking. Yeah, look at us. As you can see, the enemy rocket is about to have his ult, and we currently don't have any. So I think we about to I think this might be where we end up, you know, all dying. You know, we still made it pretty far, so the enemies would have to like lock in like crazy for them to like. Yeah, as y'all can see, that Moon, I ended up getting a triple kill, and yeah, that was it right there. That was it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final round, and I kinda just want to let this final round just play out all the way. As y'all are watching the replay, let me know if y'all learned something. Let me know if y'all learned anything new, or if y'all were like taking notes on like how I play and anything like that, because you know, I usually don't even use replay mode, you know, because I don't know, I just don't use it as much. But I just thought this was the perfect way. Well, not the perfect way. I know this guide in quotation marks is probably kind of sloppy. I just thought that, you know, I just thought that taking like a decently long gameplay where I played pretty well would be like kind of one of the best ways to show how I play. Because if I'm being honest, when people come in my chat, like my YouTube stream or anything like that, my TikTok chat, and they ask for tips, what I mostly say is what I usually say when they ask for tips is just watch me play, because I'm personally not like good at like, you know, explaining things or, you know, like, you know, giving like exact tips. But you know, I do the best I can, you know. So if you ended up learning something new, or I ended up teaching you something, or like anything like that, then, you know, let me know, bro, by leaving a like on the video. It would really mean a lot, because I just want to give people what they ask for. And Jesus Christ, oh my Lord, yo, we just got mollywopped. Yeah, bro, like I feel like the main factors with playing PSYLOKKE is having good tracking, you know, having decent to good aim, having good positioning, having great off angles, you know, and just, you know, picking off targets in general. So yeah, I don't know, am I sounding like a broken record? I'm not sure. I might be sounding like a broken record, constantly repeating the same stuff, but yeah, bro, just I don't know, I'm more of just like, I'm just better at showing gameplay instead of like explaining how I play. It's kind of hard to explain, but as y'all can see, we ended up catching the dub. Like I said, I think I had like 50 kills. I'm like 50 and 10 or something like that. And yeah, bruh, I think that's pretty much all for the guide. Hold on, let me look at this highlight intro. This highlight intro is actually pretty long. It's goated though. You know, I love when I get MVP and the enemies are forced to watch my 20-second MVP. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is my PSYLOCKE guide. There's just so many people like asking how to play PSYLOCKE and the best way to play it, and just asking for tips in general. So I know I said this for like the 5th time, but if I taught you something, if I gave you some useful tips, if I helped you become a better PSYLOCKE, be sure to drop a like on the video, drop a sub, peep my other videos, because I do be posting a lot of different gameplays. And also, y'all should tap into my live streams, bro. I'm live every single morning except Sundays. So you got any more questions that I didn't answer in this video, or if there were any questions that like may have sparked because of the video, or if you want like a better understanding of something, then don't be afraid to leave a comment, or come in my live stream and ask questions, anything like that. I would be very happy to answer, because I just love being helpful. So yeah, I think it's about time for me to head out, y'all. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video. Thank y'all for all the support recently, all the new recent subs. As I stated at the beginning of the video, we're closing in on 800 subs. My goal is to hit 1K before the end of the year. It is currently October 30th at the time of this video. I think it might be November 1st when it goes live. So I have exactly 2 months to pretty much gain 200 subs. So if I could get like 100 subscribers a month, no, that wouldn't be too bad. But but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new. Subscribe for more Rivals content, more PSYLOCKE content. And yeah, I'm out. Peace.